5 million followers in 48 hours. At the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the largest sporting event ever staged, 48 nations, 104 matches, 16 cities across the United States, Canada and Mexico. The first viral sensation is not Mbappe, not Ronaldo, not any of the names that have lived on the back pages for a decade. It is a right-back from New Zealand, with 4,700 Instagram followers, who had no idea any of this was about to happen to him. His name is Tim Payne, and 7 days ago, almost nobody on earth knew it. It started with one video from an Argentine man with a camera and a simple idea. He went through every squad at this World Cup, all 48 teams, every player, one by one, counting Instagram followers, searching for the person about to walk onto the world's biggest stage who the internet had simply decided to ignore. He found Tim Payne, 4,700 followers, 32 years old, 15 years of professional football, 50 caps for his country, a broken collarbone 8 months ago that he recovered from to make this squad. "This man is going to the World Cup," the influencer said, "and almost nobody knows he exists. Let's change that." Within 24 hours, 500,000 followers. Within 48 hours, over 1 million. Within 3 days, 5 million. More than the entire population of New Zealand. More than the man who started the whole thing. Tim Payne had absolutely no idea what was happening to his phone. But before the 5 million, before the viral moment, before the entire internet collectively decided to make a New Zealand right back famous, overnight, there is a 15-year story that almost nobody stopped to tell. Until now. Timothy John Payne was born on January 10th, 1994, in Papakura, a suburb in the south of Auckland that sits far enough from the city centre to feel like its own world. New Zealand in the 1990s belonged to rugby. Rugby owned the culture, the conversation, the national identity. A kid who wanted to play football was swimming against a current that ran deep and showed no signs of turning. He swam anyway. He came through the youth system at Auckland City FC, one of the few clubs in New Zealand with a real football pathway. A defender from the beginning. The position that stops things from happening rather than making them happen. The player whose best work is invisible to everyone watching, because when a right back does his job perfectly, there is simply nothing to see. He was very good at being invisible. Good enough that by 2011, at 17, he was representing New Zealand at the FIFA U-17 World Cup in Mexico, playing every single minute of every match. Good enough that the following year, at 18, he earned his first senior cap against Honduras. Good enough that an English Premier League club came calling. Blackburn Rovers. For a kid from Papakura, that sentence meant everything. A club with real history, real infrastructure. Tim Payne signed at 18 and moved to England. He spent 2 years there. Then came back to New Zealand. Then Portland Timbers 2 in America. Then Auckland City again. Then eastern suburbs. The kind of career path that tells you something about a person. All those miles, all those moves, all those fresh starts in places that required him to prove himself again from the beginning. At eastern suburbs in 2019, something happened that most people outside New Zealand never heard about. He captained them to the New Zealand Football Championship title, the club's first national championship since 1971. 48 years of waiting, ended by a team led by a right back who had been to England and America and come home and kept going. That same year he joined Wellington Phoenix, the only New Zealand club in Australia's A-League, the highest level of football in Oceania. he stayed, year after year, more than 150 appearances, selected for the A-League All-Stars, named to the PFA Team of the season, signed a new 3-year contract in December 2024, quietly becoming one of the most dependable defenders in the competition, while the competition itself remained invisible to the rest of the world. Then October 2025, a match against Brisbane Roar, a collision, a broken collarbone. He had been on the verge of helping New Zealand qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Their first appearance since 2010, 16 years of waiting, and the injury arrived at the worst possible moment. Months of recovery ahead, a squad spot suddenly uncertain, the biggest tournament of his career potentially slipping away before it began. He recovered, made it back, earned his 50th cap in March 2026 in a 4-1 win over Chile. New Zealand's first ever victory against a South American national team made the World Cup squad. 15 years of professional football, a broken collarbone, a recovery, a 50th cap. All of it leading to this, the World Cup, with 4,700 Instagram followers and a career the world had spent 15 years choosing to overlook. Valen Scarsini is an Argentine content creator who had built his audience by finding football's overlooked corners and holding them up to the light. He had once taken a 5th division club from Liechtenstein, a team that had 15 likes on a Christmas post, and turned them into a global story with 400,000 followers in days. In late May 2026, with the World Cup days away, he posted a new video. He had gone through every squad, all 48 teams, every player, checking Instagram followers one by one, searching for the person about to walk onto the world's largest stage, having been seen by almost no one. There are only a few days before the World Cup starts. What if there was a player who united us all? A footballer we all support regardless of nationality? He paused. I found him. In Group G, in New Zealand, Tim Payne. He doesn't even have 5,000 followers. We have to mention Tim Payne everywhere. We have to make videos featuring the legend of Tim Payne. What happened next is one of those moments that make you stop and reconsider what the internet is actually capable of when it decides to be something other than what it usually is. People followed, genuinely, spontaneously, from Brazil and Japan and Nigeria and Germany, and dozens of countries with no particular reason to care about New Zealand. Football. They followed because the idea landed somewhere real. Here was a man who had spent 15 years doing something difficult and doing it, well, completely unseen. And it was possible to simply decide, collectively, and for no particular reason, to see him. His name started appearing everywhere. Cooking videos, travel photos, memes about completely unrelated things. Tim Payne, Tim Payne, Tim Payne. A kind of signal, proof that you were part of something warm in a sporting landscape that usually runs on tribalism and resentment. Within 48 hours, over 1 million followers. Within 3 days, 5 million. More than the population of New Zealand. More than the entire A-League competition he plays in. More than Scarsini himself, who had built his platform over years. Messages arrived in languages Tim Payne had never expected to see on his phone. People who had never heard of him a week ago, telling him in every language available that they were rooting for him. New Zealand play their first match on June 15th against Iran in Inglewood, California. Group G also contains Belgium and Egypt. The All-Whites are the lowest-ranked team in the entire tournament. They have played at 2 previous World Cups, 1982 and 2010, and have walked away from both without a single win. Tim Payne knows all of this. He has known it his whole career. He plays for a national team that arrives at every tournament, as the team everyone expects to lose, in a country where his sport lives in rugby's shadow, in a league the world never watches. He has shown up anyway, for 15 years, through Blackburn and Portland and Auckland and Wellington, through a broken collarbone and a recovery and a 50th cap in a historic win over Chile. 5 million people followed Tim Payne because one man pointed a camera at someone who had been invisible and said, "This person exists. This person has been working for 15 years and the world should know his name." The internet, which spends most of its time overlooking exactly this kind of person, decided in this one case to do something different. A man spent 15 years being excellent at something, in a place where almost nobody was watching. 1 week before the biggest tournament of his career, the world finally looked up. He was already there. He had been there all along.